meeting. Yeah, I think it's recorded right now.
Yeah, it's recording now.
Okay, cool. Shall we wait for David to join?
Yeah, just a couple minutes more and that's it.
Okay. So you and David, you guys are located in different state, right?
Yeah, that's right.
uh, where are you right now, Luis?
Right now I'm in Mexico.
Oh, okay. And
So I, I used to be between Miami and Mexico City, so depends on the week of the month. Uh, I am in a different place.
I see. Yeah, so David is based in
I'm
Houston?
on Austin.
Yeah,
Oh, Austin. Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Yeah, we are still waiting for Jake to join. Let me just text him really quick. So the only place I went to Mexico is Puerto Vallarta. I traveled there for like 3-4 days for vacation a couple of years ago. It's very nice.
Yes, it is very nice.
Yep. So I'm not sure.
next time you can go.
Yeah, go ahead, Luis.
No, just saying that next time you can go to Cancun or going down to Mexico City.
Okay, great. Yeah, I took some Spanish class in high school, but I think I forgot most of it.
I
Yep.
have the same problem. I'm trying to relearn it.
Yep. And maybe I think we can just get started for now, since I think Jake is in another consulting meeting right now, so he said he will join as soon as he can. And I just clean up. Let me share my screen. Start sharing my screen.
So are we on the same GoToMeeting?
Do
I
you guys
guess.
see my screen right now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so I just clean up this a little bit and then make it into a different bucket from market to delivery, offering, production. And if you guys can go through them one by one, that will be really wonderful. So
Okay.
yeah, who is the current customer and then what does E2E provide to the customer?
Yeah, we currently have electronics as our main customer.
Mm-hmm.
So we provide services for basically move TVs and DVDs and uh, subwoofers and things like that. So all electronics that are not with brand name recognized is the the brands that are built for the retail.
Mm-hmm.
So they are our main customer right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jake also now joined. No, oh no, okay. But so this is our main customer. We are providing the security services, so we create the whole protocol to maintain safely the shipment when are going out from the factory up to the warehouse in Mexico City. So they are they have plants on the border,
Mm-hmm.
and we basically move the crossing all the country up to the warehouses in Mexico City.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of security, um, do the shipment most got damaged or they got lost? when you're talking about the targeting?
We are a mixed service that has tracking
Mm-hmm.
with a GPS device placed on the truck,
Mm-hmm.
on the box, and in addition, in the risk areas, we have physical escort that are going with the shipment and crossing those areas that are with a high risk.
High risk
Okay?
of damage or high risk of loss?
Lost.
Okay.
Lost,
Stolen.
Okay, got it.
So
Hello?
the reason, yeah, we have the escort. The trucks are locked. They have seals on the back,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't stop the bad guys from, stopping the truck, breaking into the truck, maybe kidnapping the driver, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And also, we now are working with FedEx
Mm-hmm.
because they have different hubs around the metropolitan area
Mm-hmm.
on the city, and they work by time, so they need to achieve the commitment that they do with the customer with their customer. So they have a pretty big fleet that manage the final deliveries, but between hubs they are hiring different vendors. So we are working on that, and we are like the model for the new structure, because we provide the logistics service
Mm-hmm.
with some security factors to move those shipments. So
Mm-hmm. And Jake, are you on? Just wanted to.
I'm on. First of all, I apologize. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Louis and David, sorry about this whole confusion. There's a little bit of a confusion between our, because of the time zone difference. We all thought it was at 6 p.m. our time, which doesn't really make sense because it's 9 o'clock for you. So apologize, and thank you for being flexible to meet with us, kind of on last minute notice. Zisha, I don't know if you already kind of set the stage, but we are for David and Louis. I don't know if Andre's on the phone, but essentially we're working towards building the business concepts on our chosen FOP, which is the marketplace, the online marketplace or platform with a focus on partnership with insurance providers. And we had two major goals from this call today. One is to kind of see how well E2E is already aligned to this field of play, if we already are, kind of to get a better sense for that, so that we can refine our recommendations coming in in our next meeting. Secondly, to get a better sense for the technology, the platform itself, how much would it make sense, and what kind of features, from your perspective, what kind of features can E2E provide to begin with, and how much would it align to the needs and gaps in the industry. So that being said, we have about 20 minutes. I don't know if we'll get through the whole, we don't necessarily have to follow this document. Disha, I know you guys are kind of rolling, so I'll let you roll, and maybe we can pick and choose some of the questions, the big ones that we want to tackle in the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, so I already asked the first question, and I actually clean up this document a little bit and put them in different buckets. So yeah, we can continue on, and we are on the second question now. What's the industry trend and the general direction?
Yeah, I mean, we can kind of tackle a couple of questions together, rather than going one by one. I think it's if you don't mind, Zisha. So I think what we wanted to hear from E2E was, looks like, obviously regulations coming up, end of the year is a big kind of mover in the industry right now. Is that one of the big shakers in the future as well? Meaning if we move forward with the idea of this platform, is there any other regulatory changes in the horizon that we are aware of?
So the ELD is the main thing. And I guess maybe the question you're not answering is that it's now June, and can we make an impact? Is that the other question that I would suspect that you're thinking?
Yep. Kind of, yeah, along the lines. I mean, it's kind of a ELD is there's no, it's a mandate, right? You almost, I mean, all the trucking companies have to implement ELD. So in our mind, that is a must-have feature for any trucking solution. Is that right?
Correct.
We just also wanted to confirm some for understanding as well. All right, so that's good to know. So there's a big gap in the industry.
Yeah, so also, Jake, along that line, and in terms of the ELD regulation, so will E2E most likely to buy the ELD feature, or will E2E most likely to develop your own ELD add-on feature?
Yeah.
Luis, you want to do that?
Yeah. We already have the platform that gathers the information that is required from the DOT. So we are now looking for, let's say, or a partner that already have the device, or to acquire our own device to run the process to be certified as a vendor from the DOT for to be under this regulation, right? So,
Got it. Thank you. And
so
the reason why we ask
make sure you understand what he just said, that we have the ability to take the data. We need a device that can send us the data, right?
Yep.
So that
That's
plugs
right.
into the truck. Yeah. So we have to make a decision on how we get the data, hardware-wise, not the tablet, not the smartphone. We're talking about that's in the ESM bus or whatever they call it, that sends us the data either by Bluetooth or hardware. So that's what we have to do.
Got it. And the reason why we ask is we have a concept centered around not necessarily the ELD device, but a telematics device that can send driver behavior through to the platform, which we can then use to, which E2 can then use to predict insurance prices and stuff like predict insurance premiums based on who's driving. Other inputs such as what route is it, what kind of cargo is it, and things like that. All of that presumes that E2E platform would be integrated with a device that can send data, exactly like you said, David. So
yeah,
like
just in addition to that, sorry for interrupting. The point is, you can gather the information from a device that just reads the ELD information that they require, or you can have a GPS device that are which we currently use for the normal operation. That in addition of location, also will send the information required for the ELD. So this is why we are in the middle to think about if we mix the device and show to the market one that is with GPS included, or if we go and do a partnership with another company that just have the device to read the information and that's it. So, but you can do both, right?
Yeah. Now, what we were thinking was a little bit, further along, along the idea of what value can we provide to insurance providers, which kind of hinges on what are their problems today. One of the big problems that we uncovered from our research, and we spoke to a couple of people, one of the big problems that we hear is, the insurance prices are determined just sometimes based on the weight of the cargo, and it is not properly vetted. So it ends up being either too high for low value cargo or too low for higher value cargo. So a pain point that we can solve is, can we use more inputs to predict insurance prices to make it, to make it more sensitive to factors like who's driving, driver behavior, for instance, and other inputs, obviously, route, type of cargo. For that kind of data, if we were to do that as a business concept under this field of play, we would need more detailed data on how is each driver driving, driver behavior, how many stops they're making. In addition to compliance data required by the ELD mandate, we would need more telematics kind of data. So what we are planning to propose is, if E2E is looking into partnering with, ELD providers, maybe partnering with the telematics device providers also maybe an option that you can consider down the line.
So when you're saying telematics, I'm assuming you're talking about satellite.
Well, we're talking about tracking the behavior of a driver. Essentially, that's what it is, and we're still developing the idea. But what we hear out there is, especially in the auto industry, there's this this telematics. It's called telematics device, and what it essentially does is it tells you how the driver's behaving while they're driving, meaning how fast are they going.
Yeah, there's been some companies that have been doing that for a while, and are quite good at it. But they're very expensive, and the hardware is expensive and everything. So it keeps them out of court and lawsuits and all kinds of stuff. If you're doing braking, they even do deceleration, acceleration, turn speed, all that kind of right.
Yeah,
that's been around for a while in various
in the
forms.
trucking industry. Yeah. Even in the trucking industry, I see.
Yes, it has been. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Got it. So the cost won't justify the benefits, apparently.
So the other day we had a discussion about East Texas Oil, which was one of my customers. They have 330 trucks. They had a guy coming on an off-ramp off an interstate and was in a wreck, and there was a fatality.
Wow. Okay.
Lawsuit was filed. The DA in the county in Texas was going to file charges. They got the device, downloaded the history, and realized that what one of the passengers in the car said wasn't true, and that the truck braked. It did everything according to law. In fact, it was well in the safety range. It turns out the driver made a mistake in the car, which caused the fatality, and they let the guy off, and the lawsuit was dropped. So they could tell that by the braking and the deceleration and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good use. Got it. So that's a good use case of how that can be used. But what I'm also hearing, David, is the costs are high. Is that also true? Or if E2E were to take, partner with one of those companies, would the costs of buying that software or, entering into that partnership, would the cost be justified by the benefits that you can provide to insurance players?
I'd like to hear that. That's probably a discussion between Luis and I, because we don't necessarily want to be, I don't think, or at least I haven't heard, we want to be a full telematics company. That's kind of first of all, there's a data problem. To be successful in that, you've got to record second by second, and you've got a huge problem with the data. And how long do you keep it, and how long do you store it, all that kind of stuff, because the breadcrumb trail becomes very difficult and very large.
Got it.
So where do you see yourself then? Where do you think E2E?
Go ahead, Luis. Yeah. Luis, I'll let you give the position statement on that.
Also, the good thing is that we already have the platform that is able to read more than 500 different GPS devices if we are talking about the telematics. So doesn't matter which is the brand, we already have the code and the protocol to read more than 500 devices.
Okay. Sounds like it's technically possible. Maybe what we'll do is, we want. So this is great because this is exactly the kind of feedback that we wanted to kind of get a sense of. That way we can decide if it's worth it to pursue that, or just we should just focus on something else. It sounds like the platform could take that data, but it also may not be in the box. So what we'll do is we'll just explore a little bit more and present it as a concept, and maybe we can talk more then. How does that, if that sounds reasonable?
And can we also talk about this? What's the biggest pain point that you guys are currently experiencing?
And just to qualify that a little bit, what is the pain point from a technological perspective? From a technology perspective, is E2E getting is it competition? Obviously, there are a lot of new players in the industry. Is E2E trying to stay in the same track, or E2E trying to pivot and by responding to the ELD mandate? What's kind of the big drivers for E2E to change? That's kind of what we're asking here.
Good question. This is
yeah,
man.
so
yeah,
let me give.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You first. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is that if you look at all the different websites out there, they're all talking about tracking and delivery. What I think we bring to the table as well is the security aspect of it, and I get this feeling that a lot of them are ignoring that, and I don't see it. They kind of suggest it, but they're not really doing it. Mm-hmm. And they're kind of saying, well, if you can see it and you can come up with an ETA of delivery, it's a secure shipment. Well, things happen very fast, right? When things go south, when the thing stops and it goes to a truck stop or whatever, things can go bad very quickly. And I don't see that when I read the websites out there. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. That's the security side. Luis, you want to add to that?
Yeah, just if you see how the industry have changed over the last 3 years, you could see that when 5 years ago, when the economics was not good, the companies decide to take the lowest service as possible, right? And after that, the customer, the companies see that not in all cases it was a good decision, because they don't receive the expectations and the minimum requirements that they would like to have. So after that, the companies start to looking at and going back and decide for expert on a specific activity, let's say security or let's say logistics. But after that, the logistic companies see that the security market was attractive and also easy to get. So they decide to start to offer, as a part of the logistic services, have the security services included. So the big players like C.H. Robinson, Siva, Ryder, Transplace, they are offering the logistic services that include security, but no more than that. So from our point of view, we are using the technology, we are using the expertise and knowledge that we have from the industry, and we are going and saying, hey, more than that, we are the knowledge center that knows how the drivers and the carriers are doing their operation. So we will get the data of how often they are running a specific route, We know how often they are taking accidents. We know how often they are changing tires or how often they are doing the maintenance. So all is data. So when you compare all of this information as a big data and use that to work with insurance, you definitely have a different position, and you can see some insurance that will be able to pay for have the less risk on their on their customer, right? So the point is, the industry is changing and the new regulation is coming, but also the new player is appearing on the market. So you need to be very focused on and clear how will be the differentiator to be successful on the market. So, but you also are attractive for a big part of the market that are the small companies and single drivers that they don't have any infrastructure or they don't have any let's say organization behind that can go directly to P&G or Unilever or the big guys and say, hey, we can provide with my own one truck the service. So the thing that we also are seeing is that those guys and the retail industry are looking for reduce the cost, but also have the visibility of what is happening with the shipment. So if they find a company like us, that basically we are saying we can represent the small companies, the small carrier or single drivers, and bring you entire visibility and also security and also reports and data of what is happening, average time, transit, or all of this, definitely you could see a better position on the market.
Thank you, Luis. That makes a lot of. I think that answers a couple of our questions. So the differentiators that we're hearing is, one is we're not just going to big players, we're also going to individual drivers and across industries, retail and others, different sizes of players with, 2 or 3 aspects of value proposition. One is we're going to use data and analytics to help the insurance providers provide a better quote. 2 is we have, existing expertise in the industry. And number 3 is security services. Now, security itself, we were not sure how prevalent, the issues were in the U.S., but sounds like it is still an issue here. So those are the 3 main differentiators and value prop aspects to
yeah, and you need to take into account that the security is just required for the high value cargo. That's the only part.
High value cargo.
Require that.
And that's physical security, right? And you're partnering with, actual security companies that can escort the cargoes. That is the model, right?
Yeah, and also doing tracking. So we provide directly the tracking.
Yeah, we provide the tracking.
And
we're not at this point. I think it's fair to say that we're not a personnel company.
Okay.
Where we're hiring them, but doesn't mean we couldn't in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got it. Even in Mexico, is it tracking mostly, or were there physical escort services? Like in the Mexican market, are you? I thought you were partnering with, physical security services that would escort the cargo. I don't know if that's much.
Yeah, Luis, in Mexico, it's not our employees, right? Is it service, right?
Yes, we have the in Mexico we have the let's say the all permits from the government to be as a security company. So we also have a common, and we name that as a command and emergency operations center that is 24/7 station that is like the one room that you see the all operations, and we are doing the tracking system in live basis, and we are responding in case of any theft or attempt that the shipment could have.
Got it. Is that required in the? Is that valuable in the U.S.? Like if E2E provided that, do you think there will be enough customers that will use that service in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay. Perfect. So that's good to know.
Luis and I both come from the same company where we provided that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have a couple more questions in regard to when you were talking about the partnering with the insurance company. Do you guys envision yourself to treat the insurance company like a partner where you do a profit sharing, like every dollar that you make, you will share a portion with the insurance company? Or do you guys envision yourself to treat the insurance company more like a customer, to charge them a flat fee so that they can be visible, they can list their logo on your platform?
So I've dealt with a few of them up here, and when I started talking to them, we already had relationships with them, and what I was trying to do was expand that relationship so that they would recommend us to more companies.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of a third party discussion, right? It's like the insurance company wants a security program. They tell the shipper, you better get one, or we're going to keep your deductibles high and your coverage low. And if you want to get the more coverage greater, like from $250,000, you want to take it to $500,000 or $1 million, you better have a security program. Oh, by the way, talk to these guys. That's kind of the way it went with me in the past. We may want to change that.
How do you want to change that?
I'm saying we might want to. I'm not, and maybe that's something you all discover for us.
Mm-hmm.
But we did not profit share with them.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah. So we just wanted to get a sense. So we're looking at both options, where we can partner with them and provide them, provide a platform to multiple, insurance providers, treat them as clients and customers. Or we're also considering the second option where you can go to, one or more specific providers and, provide them with a white label product that they can use as their own platform. But, the technology and the expertise will be provided, and there will be profit sharing. So it looks like E2E is open to the idea. So we'll present it when we develop both a little bit.
The only thing that I get nervous about if you don't manage third-party relationships correctly, you're kind of putting your revenue fate in somebody else's hands.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm not involved in the sale, does it get the same sense of urgency if only the insurance company is driving it?
Mm-hmm.
I see what he's saying. So there might be preference towards one, to one versus the other. It might be better if we can control the sales of the platform itself rather than relying on the insurance providers to. Okay, all right.
Well, and yeah, I mean, but certainly anytime you're in a distribution situation with somebody else distributing your service or product, you're at somewhat of their mercy, and you have to keep them trained. You have to stay in front of them, get their mind share, all that kind of stuff. Starting off, there's not going to be a lot of us. So I have to be careful, how I spend my time, or inside sales spend their time.
Got it. It's good to know. A quick time check. We're past 7 your time. Do you have do you have like 5 more minutes, or how does the? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also have another question. So right now, I actually watched that demo video probably like 15 times. It's
Okay.
quite short, so I just keep on pause it and then watch it again and again. So in that platform, do they really have right now have an option to match the shipper and the carrier to give the customer some options in terms of the carriers?
Luis, I'll let you answer.
Could you please repeat again, please?
Yeah, in the current E2E demo, when you log onto the platform, let's say I'm a shipper and I have something that I need to ship, and after I put in my origin and destination, do I have some choice, like a list of carriers that I can choose from?
Yes, you will have based on two criteria. One is if you need to expedite the delivery, so based on time,
Mm-hmm.
or based on cost.
Okay.
Got it. I think what we're trying, yeah. So I think what we're trying to figure out was if you already have some kind of, marketplace kind of feature on the platform.
Yes.
It looks like the current version is more about tracking and, providing option to expediting the shipment that's already en route. Right. So
yeah, but the shipper will also have the opportunity to decide with who will send in the shipment, and if they need to find the lowest cost, they decide based on the price, or if they need to deliver this specific shipment, let's say tomorrow, the decision will be based on the timing, the transit time.
Good to know. So you already have the data. So there is an option for the shipper to select a carrier depending on if they want quick service or depending on the cost. So that's good. So if you already have the data, that will help us in our one of our concepts is to build this marketplace, and having the data on which carriers go which routes is key. Looks like you already have some of that.
That's correct.
I think one of the examples I pointed out is that Apple Computer or Apple shipping iPhones is never going to take the cheapest shipper.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They have other priorities. It's security, it's delivery on time. I mean, certainly cost is a factor, but it's not the defining factor.
And that makes sense. And what you're saying earlier, David, was that not many companies focus on the security aspect, and that's where probably we can add more value. That's definitely a space to play in.
Correct.
Yeah. So
that's something that's a big deal.
I'm really curious to know. So how do you really gather the new customer?
Well, I think there's going to be a couple of things that we're going to have to do, and we haven't really sat down and done all of our marketing strategy, but I think it's real important to get a couple of launch customers that are significant. And like in one of the phone calls, one of the gentlemen has a good relationship his father works at UPS, right? Okay. Well, I'm going to jump all over that. On the other hand, we have some good relationships with some of the shippers, the people that are actually shipping the product. I've also got good contacts at C.H. Robinson that I'm going to pursue, and plus other places, right? So there's going to be I think on my part, some low-hanging fruit out there that I want to go try to cherry pick. But on the other side of it, I think there needs to be a marketing plan around pushing this app out there to the drivers. Mm-hmm. That's a different discussion, right? So you've got the drivers, you got the shippers, and you got the transportation 3PL companies. So you kind of have to look at each side of that and how do we go sell those.
Got it. And it looks like E2E is targeting all three groups. the shippers,
Correct.
the carriers,
Correct.
and the okay. And now
we
the
don't
fourth.
we don't have unlimited expenses, so we have to figure out the best way to do that and get the most return quickly.
Got it. And insurance. And when you said 3PL companies, do you include insurance providers also in that category?
3PL, no, but I guess would we call that a 4PL?
I get, or maybe another, yeah, I got the idea. So, so that insurance providers could also be potential customers. If that's so our SOP is has a focus on insurance. That's why we ask. It looks like E2E is open to selling this platform with insurance, like features for insurance providers to kind of provide quotes on the platform itself while shippers or carriers or matching or shopping on the platform.
So look at the things we're getting from State Farm in the mail, right? These insurance companies are starting to offer tracking on your personal vehicles, like with your teenagers and all that stuff. And if you drive safe, you pay less because you don't drive as many miles, or you drive safe because you have good habits and you don't accelerate very fast, and they can track all that, right?
Yep.
So that's the same thing that we could work on in the trucking industry. I think you all talked about that.
And in case something go wrong, and let's say this car got into accident, you want the insurance company to handle all the claims, right? And E2E should not be involved in the claim or that kind of stuff, right?
No, absolutely not. But we would be involved in providing the trail of data, right? So a logistics system has to be auditable, and you can't go in and change things that happened without leaving a trail that a change was made in the database, or if dispatch did something and they tried to change the record, it's going to note that.
Absolutely.
That kind of stuff.
Perfect.
And there's got to be so within the transportation company or 3PL or whatever it is, there has to be an administrative level of approval, to go in and make changes. A trucker could never do that.
Absolutely. And what we're also hearing is E2E does not intend to play in the broker space between the carriers and the insurance providers. That's not a core competency, and that wouldn't be best use of E2E's resources. Correct?
It's not my background.
Got it. I think we covered the main ones. Is there anything else that you want to go over?
I have one more thing. David, when you said we already established some relationship with the insurance company, and we might want to change that. What are some things that really bother you, make you say we want to change that?
Oh, no. I think you misunderstood me. What I meant was, I don't want to change the relationship per se. We might change the model on how we sell and how we pay them, or we pay each other. It could be that I'm just saying, I've never been involved with profit sharing there, where we share the wealth. I'm not saying that there couldn't be referral fees or stuff like that. But I think it's in our best interest to be non-exclusive. So if we made a really strong relationship with let's say, I don't know who it'd be, Nationwide. I'm just picking a name. I'd still want to have a great relationship with Zurich, and I'd want to have a great relationship with somebody else. I don't know that we could make ourselves look exclusive with anybody.
I see. And so far, are you? I assume that you are the business development person. Is there any other way other than like you trying to build a relationship with Zurich or Nationwide? Is there other avenue
I think there's a couple ways that could happen.
Mhm.
One, we get introduced to the insurance company by the customer,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
By the shipper, because we get into a situation where let's XYZ trucking company says, I really need to be able to handle a shipment that's worth $1 million.
Mhm.
And right now they won't let me do that. They'll only insure me to 250.
Mhm.
If the truck gets stolen, I'm responsible for $750,000.
Okay.
And then they would say, would you sit down at a meeting with me and my insurance guy, or a web meeting or whatever it is, help us put a plan together so over time they'll raise my insurance level to 500 to 750 to $1 million.
Mhm.
And I've been in those meetings before, so that's driven by the customer.
Mhm.
And most of the meetings I was in was driven by those customers.
Okay. Cool. That's good to
So
know.
one of the things I could tell them if I sat down with somebody and say, I can help you become a bigger shipper,
Mhm.
by talking to the insurance company
Okay.
and
Got it.
putting in the security plan.
Yeah, and our biggest takeaway from this is like not specifically a marketing plan. Looks like you're still working on it, but what we are taking away is for E2E at this point, it would be better if we can offer the platform as a service, as a product and service to multiple providers, so that E2E can kind of control the revenue and the sales cycle rather than building a white label product for specific providers. That's our takeaway from what you just said, which is great.
I don't know. What do you think, Luis, on that? I don't know that we can support a white label yet.
Got it. The reason we ask is, those were all kind of, concepts that we're playing with, and we're trying to pick the most viable ones for E2E and the more, ones that would make most sense to E2E.
If somebody was really big and they said, look, we'd like to control our own destiny. What would you guys charge us for an enterprise license that could be used and blah, 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 whatever it is? I mean, I don't think we'd walk away from that discussion. We want to hear what they'd want to say.
Mhm.
Got it. Good, fair.
Okay.
So those were the main ones that we want to take away. Is there anything in particular that you'd like us to, while we're, researching and kind of coming up, we're making, polishes to our concepts? Is there anything in particular that you'd like to see or you'd like us to research on in this, in the space of providing a platform and maybe even partnering with insurance providers?
I guess with the scope of your challenge, I think that's probably, I don't know. Are we missing anything, Luis? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
All right. Fair enough.
Guys, I need to leave the call, but you can stay. I'm sorry for that, but I already have another appointment. So, Dave,
no worries.
Yeah, you will be there, so no problem.
Yeah, I think we're wrapping up here too as well, Luis. Our parting question was, if there's anything in particular that you'd like us to focus on over the next 3 or 4 days or 4 or 5 days before our next meeting, we could do that.
I would say be open to on the concept, use the data, and explore the insurance industry. So that's my recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most unclear area. So any insight you come up with is probably interesting.
Okay.
Great, and we also heard some of your preferences and some of your spaces that you would like to play in and your thoughts. So that's great feedback, and thank you very much for your time and being flexible to meet with us at a late hour on a Friday evening. So really appreciate that, and we look forward to speaking with you on Wednesday morning.
Wednesday, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.